We love a good Pinot Noir from the Willamette, don't we, Carmela?
We do.
And we love a good Costco Kirkland signature wine, too, right?
Right, because we like a bargain.
Well, this week we are going to see how the Costco Kirkland signature Willamette Valley Pinot Noir stacks up to some similarly priced Willamette Valley Pinot Noirs and determine who is the winner. Hello and welcome to the Wine Pair Podcast. I'm Joe, your sommelier of reasonably priced wine, and this is my wife and my wine pairing partner in crime, Carmela.
Hi there.
And we are the Wine Pair.
Woo!
It's got a weird ending. Okay, if you're new to the podcast, here's what you can expect. If you love wine and want to find great wines at affordable prices, and you want to expand your wine horizons, and you want to have some laughs and fun while doing it, then you are in the right place.
Yes.
Because each week we explore a different wine varietal or style or brand or region of the winemaking world, and we learn about what makes them worth knowing about. And then we taste 2 to 3 of those wines that are reasonably priced to let you know if they're worth your hard-earned money. And if that feels like your vibe, then we're super happy you're here.
Wow.
And we're proud to say that Decanter Magazine calls us fun, irreverent,
Chatty.
and entertaining.
Your vibe attracts your tribe. I'll say it again.
It's so true.
It never gets old.
Never does. And I just want to say that with last week being conclave and all that, as we recorded this, people were digging the episode on Chateauneuf du Pape.
Oh my God, we had such great timing on that.
I guess so. I mean, it never
Wow.
would have made it because it's too expensive. But hey, for the Pope, we'll do it. We'll do it.
Right.
But this week, Carmela, we are back with one of my favorite episode series, which is where we see how Costco Kirkland signature wines compare with others. And today, we're tasting and reviewing the 2022 Costco Signature Willamette Valley Pinot Noir against similarly priced Willamette Valley Pinot Noirs, also from the 2022 vintage, to see which is better. So this is kind of fun. Pinot Noir,
Oh my
2022,
gosh, this is
Willamette
so much
Valley.
fun.
And by the way, we have a bunch of Costco episodes that we're going to have to do because you know
Have
what
you
I
been shopping?
do. Yeah, you know what I do.
What do you do?
When we go to Costco.
You just shop wine. Well, wine and clothes.
Wine? Oh boy, she just that's too much information.
Okay.
Stick with the wine. Hardly ever any
Isn't that
clothes.
funny? You can go to the one place, a one-stop shop, and you can do clothes.
Wine.
You can do wine.
Chips.
And
Why am I talking about
Romano
chips?
cheese.
Romano cheese.
Now you're going to know all of our favorite things from Costco.
It's true. And don't talk about the clothes ever again.
Why?
All right.
Why?
Because it's a little embarrassing. But anyway, too many secrets. So this is also kind of a combo of one of our other beloved series, which is high QPR Pinot Noir, because these are less expensive Pinot Noirs. But we're focusing on, this week, we're focusing on Costco, because that's really the operative term, I guess.
Right. And it's a fight.
Mm-hmm. A fight. Right.
Right.
Now, we love Pinot Noir, and I'm beginning to really like Oregon Pinot Noir, probably because the sun lives around there, so we're starting to really love it.
Partial to like the area.
Exactly. So, and we could talk for hours about Willamette Valley and Willamette Valley Pinot Noir, but I'm going to save some of that passion and interest for other episodes because we're going to have to do more episodes on it. And I will say it's also a little challenging to find Oregon Pinot Noirs that fit into our under $25 price range, but we'll talk about that in a second too. But today we're going to do a super quick background on Pinot Noir in Oregon's Willamette Valley and why it's such a big deal, Carmela, because it's kind of a big deal.
Is it a big deal for you? Or
No,
do you think
like
it's just for the world?
For the world.
Oh, nice.
And then we're going to spend a little bit of time learning more about Sarah Cabot, Carmela, who is the winemaker who makes Costco Kirkland signature Pinot Noir.
She's
Willamette
the queen
Valley.
bee, huh?
She is so we're going to do a whole section on her.
Okay.
In a little bit. But Carmela, if you didn't know, the Willamette Valley in Oregon is considered to be about the closest thing you can get to Burgundy without going to Burgundy.
Okay.
And
does that mean we're never going to Burgundy?
No, we're going to Burgundy, but we'll spend a lot more time in Willamette Valley. And in Burgundy, the wine can be even more expensive than the wine in Oregon because the wine in Oregon ain't exactly cheap.
Mm-hmm.
Now, for our friends in the listening land audience, remember a red Burgundy wine is Pinot Noir. And the most expensive wines in the world are Pinot Noir from Burgundy. Those are the most expensive wines in the world.
No wonder you
not
love it
Bordeaux,
so much.
not California Cabernet.
Expensive taste.
That's right. Just
Top
like
notch taste.
in my women.
Wow. You're one woman that you have.
Oh, I mean, in my woman. Not women.
Right,
I should have said that right. Okay, but Carmela, why is Willamette Valley considered to be nearly on par with Burgundy?
Well, You tell us, Joe.
I was worried that you were going to try to answer it because you don't have the script.
True. It would be just a bunch of mumble jumble.
You know how AI kind of makes stuff up?
Yeah.
That's what it would be. You'd be just making stuff up.
You'd have to fact check me.
Exactly. But what are your sources?
Yeah.
Broken links. Okay. Now, Carmela, first of all, both Burgundy and the Willamette Valley share a cool climate. And this kind of climate is kind of perfect for Pinot Noir grapes. And in fact, some call Burgundy and the Willamette Valley sort of the Goldilocks zone for Pinot Noir.
Just right.
That's right. The Willamette Valley is slightly more temperate than Burgundy, but it has a long, cool growing season, and they're at similar latitudes. So Burgundy and the Willamette Valley are around the 45-degree north latitude. So that's
interesting.
Yeah. So this is another reason why they're so considered so similar. And a lot of times people do say that Oregon Pinot Noirs tend to be more elegant and more balanced than like California wines, kind of like they are in Burgundy, because warm weather Pinots tend to be a little bit more aggressive than Willamette Valley.
Get out of their way.
Get out of exactly. Now, both regions are said to embrace the concept of terroir, which we have talked about. It's just a fancy way of saying the place. Okay. And like Burgundy, the Willamette Valley has a lot of subzones. So they have, and we've been to these, Carmela, Dundee Hills, Eola Amity Hills, Yamhill Carlton. And each of those places has different microclimates, different soils. And that's very similar to Burgundy. In fact, the microclimates and the micro areas are so important that in Burgundy and the Willamette Valley, they often take their grapes from small plots, small vineyards. And this is one of the reasons why they're considered such high quality, because they're very specific, but also because they're sort of scarce. So the Willamette Valley winemakers also purposely try to emulate or imitate Burgundian styles using the similar kind of traditional methods that are found in Burgundy. So things like minimal intervention. So it's like, hey, let the wine do its thing. Don't mess around with it too much. Native yeast, fermenting with native yeast. Gentle oak aging. So
goodness.
They're not rough oak. They're gentle oak. A lot of times
Pinot, rough oak. Wow.
No, but they often use French barrels, which again, as we've said, are more mellow than American oak. They use low extraction techniques, which means that when they do things to get more flavor from the juice, like pouring the juice back over the skins, they do it in gentle ways. So remember we talked about punching down?
This is not a lot of punching.
They don't do a lot of punching.
That's okay. I don't mind that. I kind of prefer less punching.
They're nicer to the wine.
Right.
And that brings a more nuanced and beautiful wine out of it.
I agree.
Don't you think?
I think that they need to take a little lesson.
I think so.
Anger management lesson.
This is one of the reasons why you will find that wines in the Willamette Valley are said to be similar to. Now, they're not going to be like a Grand Cru Burgundy, but said to be sort of similar to the Burgundian style of Pinot Noir.
Okay.
And because of this, many Willamette Valley Pinot Noirs have very strong reputations and higher price points. Some of them start at $45 more, $100, etc. And there's some really famous and well-regarded wineries in the area, like Domaine Drouin, which is actually related to the Burgundy Drouin winery, Domaine Serene, Brick House, Antica, Terra, Christom, Audient. We also love ourselves a little Compton family wine, and the folks at Chehalem and Stoller have treated us really well. But I could go on and on, but that's enough for now, because we have two reasonably priced Willamette Valley Pinot Noirs and also a Costco Willamette Valley Pinot Noir that we're going to taste and compare and see which is the best one from the 2022 vintage, which, by the way, was supposed to be a very tricky year. And we need to learn more about Sarah Cabot, who makes the wine. But first,
you got to do our shameless plug.
That's right. So thank you for listening to us and supporting our show. And if you haven't had the chance to do so yet, now would be the perfect time to follow or subscribe to our podcast and leave us a nice rating and review to help us grow listeners. And a huge thank you to all of you who have done that. And you can also follow us at Instagram at The Wine Pair Podcast. You can follow us on Blue Sky. You can contact us on our website, thewinepairpodcast.com. You can sign up for our email newsletter there. And you can also visit our Shop Wine and Shop Wine Accessories section, where you can find links to buy wines and accessories and gifts and fun stuff that you need for your wine.
I don't remember hearing about the accessories and gifts and blah, blah, blah. Although gifts and accessories would be something that I would think would catch my attention.
Well, maybe I didn't say gifts. I don't know.
I don't remember
But this week I'm saying
Let
gifts.
us know if he said it, because I'm questioning now.
You could listen to it if you really want.
Oh,
that's a high bar. Okay. Anyway, and we want to make content that you care about and you like. So send us a note or DM us. Give us some feedback. Let us know if there's wines you want us to try or winemaking areas of the world that you're curious about, and we'll take care of it. You can email me at joe@thewinepairpodcast.com. And we have a bunch of shout outs. So really, I'm going to try to go through these really quick. A big thank you to our friends, the East Idaho Foodies, who let us know that this wine was at Costco. And so they are the...
Oh, wow.
Yeah, they're the inspiration behind this episode. Shout out to Jens, who we interviewed a few months ago for his book, The Rosé Revolution. He sent us a nice note when we did our Tavel episode. Another shout out to Dave Baxter, who let us know that Trader Joe's is now selling orange wine made from oranges.
Oh,
another reason
my goodness
for me to get mad at Trader Joe's.
Gotta be a little skep.
Little skep.
Trader Joe's.
I know, exactly. A shout out to Maria Kay, who reached out to us to think about doing an episode on boxed wine. So we're going to do that. To Shaker, who reached out with some awesome ideas for mini-sodes. So we're going to do some of those. Masked and Uncorked on Instagram. They always send us nice notes, and they said they really liked our Chateau Neuf de Pop episode. Corinne, who asked us if we've done an episode on wines from Alsace. So we haven't done one specifically on Alsace, so we'll probably do that at some point.
Nice.
Timmy's Vino on Instagram, who says we have similar taste in wines, and I just like to shout him out because his wife thinks it's cool.
Wait, what's cool? That we have a similar taste?
No, that we shout him out.
Oh, right. Hey, Tim! We'll do it every week.
There you go. And then our friends at Tips to Live By and Blue Sky, who are always super supportive, and they have a pet peeve, evidently, about putting ice in wine.
I think a lot of people do.
I know, but do you have a pet peeve?
I don't have a pet peeve. Like, no. I don't typically do that, but in fact, I feel like recently we've seen several people do it. And
your brother does it.
On a white wine, but not a red wine.
No.
Yeah.
I don't think people do it in red.
It doesn't bother me. Does it bother you?
It used to bother me a lot.
Wow.
But now I'm like...
aggressive?
Yeah, but you know what? Rough? Now I'm like, do you.
Right.
Do your thing.
I'm like, if you enjoy that,
yeah.
Why spoil your good time?
I kind of feel like since we've done the podcast, I've actually become a little less snobby about wine.
I mean, amazing.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting. Anyway, keep the comments and feedback and fun shares coming. We'd love to hear from you. We always respond. We really do love it. And as we do every week, we'll tell you someone we think you should recommend the Wine Pair podcast to, because that's the best way for us to grow listeners. And this week, we want you to recommend us to anyone who loves Pinot Noir or the Pacific Northwest as much as we do.
I mean...
You know, this whole episode, Carmela, it's going to be more and more about the Pacific Northwest. Just wait to hear this.
I cannot wait.
So, I thought it would be interesting to do something different in this topic deep dive section. And I don't think we've ever done this before. And that's focus on a winemaker. And in this case, again, we're going to be talking about the winemaker for Costco for this very wine that we're doing the challenge about today. Isn't that kind of cool?
That's really cool.
And she has a bunch of information. So as I mentioned earlier, the person who makes this wine is named Sarah Cabot. Mm-hmm. And I think you're going to like her, Carmela.
Okay. Do you think we'd get along?
Yeah, I do. And for a lot of reasons. And I'm going to see how many you can pick out as I describe these things. Okay. First,
that means I have to know myself pretty well.
Know yourself and know what you like. You have to know what you like.
And that's tough. Because a lot of times I ask you,
exactly,
what should I do? Exactly. What should I have?
What do I like?
It's really weird.
Actually, your common thing is, what do I feel like?
What do I feel like?
Yeah,
honey?
Which I like.
Isn't that nice that I asked you that?
It is really thoughtful.
You'd be sad if I didn't.
I kind of would.
Okay.
All right. So anyway, Sarah Cabot is an Oregon-based winemaker, and she's known for expertise in, as you would guess, Pinot Noir.
Nice.
So that's one thing to like her about right off the bat,
no.
right? Now, nice, Italian. From what I can tell, based on some research I was able to do on the interwebs, she is the lead winemaker for several wines under the Precept Wine badge, including Battle Creek Cellars Primarius Winery and Kirkland Signature.
Uh-huh.
Now, if you don't know who Precept Wine is, because I actually didn't know what Precept Wine was, they are a huge winery or wine brand. They make almost 1 million cases of wine a year, and they are the largest privately held wine and spirits company in the Pacific Northwest.
Nice.
And they're headquartered in Seattle. So already connections with Sarah. Mm-hmm. And they were founded in 2003 by Andrew Brown. I don't know if you've ever seen that wine, Browne, but it's the same. Andrew Brown. They have a bunch of different wineries and vineyards like Waterbrook, Canoe Ridge, Gruette, House Wine.
Oh,
so
okay.
A lot
Familiar.
of these. So even though you might not know Precept, you probably know some of their wines. Now back to Sarah. She's originally from Seattle.
Oh my God.
She's born in Seattle.
But now, is it like Seattle, or is it like,
Well, I didn't get that. I didn't get all of that
we
information.
don't know.
I know, but someday, yeah.
Sometimes it's like, I'm from Seattle, and then they're like Everett or...
Yeah, exactly.
Which is fine.
It's fine.
Totally fine.
It's fine. It's fine with us.
Yeah.
And she had a deep interest in music growing up.
Oh,
so there you go.
Goodness.
And those a couple more things that make us love her. Seattle,
Right,
music. Anyway. And then
Wine.
I wrote this in the notes.
Costco.
I don't know
Okay,
if people
sorry.
know that I had a previous life as a musician.
You did?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't
And-
know that.
Yeah, you knew that. And I don't know if people who listen to the podcast know this, but the music for the podcast is music that I wrote.
If you were
that I
ever
play
wondering,
on-
nobody's really ever asked. And
Nobody's
it's really
ever
hurt
asked.
Joe's feelings.
Kind of hurt my feelings
He's
a little
like,
bit.
wow,
Nobody's ever been
inquired.
curious. I know.
But if you like the music, the intro and the, what do you call the end of the show?
Outro.
The outro. Well, that works. That music is music that Joe wrote a number of years ago. But he was more than just
Your
a
brother's in
songwriter.
it too.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
Yeah,
there
but you
go.
were, a singer and
all
a
that kind of stuff.
musician.
Anyway,
and,
we're not here to talk about me. I just thought that was
okay,
interesting,
back to
fun,
Sarah. Back
fun
to Sarah.
fact. Yeah, I just thought it was a fun fact that
Yeah.
we've never talked about that before.
and nobody's ever asked about it.
No, but
so-
I know. I'm a little
Wow.
hurt. I hope somebody asks about it now. Okay, back to Sarah. She studied jazz composition at the Berkeley, that's Berklee,
Mhm.
College of Music in Boston. So she's an artist at heart.
That's amazing.
I love it already.
Mhm.
And her career started with her working as a sommelier in some upscale restaurants in Seattle, including Wild Ginger.
Oh my goodness. How long ago?
Well, a little while ago, because now she's a big shot winemaker. So this was a
cool.
while ago.
Wild Ginger's still around.
I know. And from there, being a sommelier, she got really interested in enology and studied it and viticulture.
Maybe you met her.
Maybe we did.
Yeah.
I don't know. So then she started her winemaking career in Willamette Valley. She worked at some well-regarded wineries like Belpente and Willackenzie Estate. And then she was the founding winemaker at Omero Cellars before joining Precept Wine in 2014. So it's been a while since she's been at Wild Ginger.
Okay.
And at Precept, she oversees the production of more than 1 million bottles of wine a year.
Amazing.
So she's not messing around.
She is the beep.
Exactly.
You
She
can
is.
say it. BA. She's a BA.
She's a total BA.
Wow.
Totally.
Is that in your script?
Kind of.
Okay.
Now, given this huge amount of wine that she makes, Carla, you might think that she focuses on mass-produced wine techniques. But
I don't know.
But you know what she's actually known for is making artisanal quality wines at large scale. And so there's some research. You can find links to it in our show notes. Did you know we have show notes?
Mm-hmm.
And it says she focuses on practical labor, scientific knowledge, and artistic expression.
Practical labor.
But scientific knowledge and artistic expression. So she does one of the things that we love, art and science, and that we see in great winemakers.
Wow. And practical labor, too.
Yes, exactly. Now,
don't
you want to know something really interesting about Sarah?
Yes.
In 2016, she's a winemaker. In 2016, she made the decision to abstain from drinking alcohol.
Oh.
So she tastes the wine.
Yeah.
And she says that now she feels that it's improved her palate and her winemaking skills to not drink wine. So she'll taste it. But
interesting.
I think she thinks that it's sharpened her up a little bit.
Huh.
Now, the other thing about her that's awesome is she's an athlete, and I'm not making this up.
Wow.
She plays full contact football.
No.
Yes, I'm not
For
joking.
What?
She plays for a team called the Oregon Ravens, which is a professional women's tackle football team.
That's amazing.
And I
you
know.
Go, Sarah.
I know. When you said she was a badass, she's a badass.
She is.
So
That woman's well-rounded.
I mean, the Ravens compete in the Women's National Football Conference, and she plays as a wide receiver and a defensive back.
That's so
Come
cool.
on.
That is really cool.
And she's also considered one of the best winemakers in Oregon. Her wines have consistently received high praise. She's also known as a versatile winemaker. And this may seem an obvious statement, but she is a female winemaker in a male-dominated industry, and she makes over 1,000 tons of Pinot Noir wine a year.
That's incredible.
Yeah. So my takeaway is, don't mess with Sarah.
No.
Do not
Sarah-
trifle. She's not somebody to be trifled with.
No. Don't even mess with Sarah.
And I wrote this on here. She's a total badass.
I mean, really.
did. I read-
See?
she is. So,
Wow.
aren't you excited to try this
Are we
wine
gonna
now?
meet Sarah?
I would love to meet her someday.
Really cool.
But aren't you excited to kind of try this wine now?
I'm so excited.
Well, let's make that transition. Let's talk about the wines that we chose for this episode. And as usual, as I say, the wines that we've chosen for this episode are under $25 each. And all of them should be relatively easy to find because I bought them all at Costco.
Woo!
So it's even better than that. I was
Buy your shirt, buy your wine.
shirt, pants, and vino.
Woo, and
What else?
undies.
And undersquares. What else do you want?
Yes.
And 14 packages of milk.
And a nice hot dog
And,
to go.
never forget the hot dog.
They don't have the big ice cream cones anymore.
No, but they have the
smoothie.
No, but you can get an ice cream sundae.
Oh, you can?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
All right. Anyway, but it's better than that, Carmela. I was able to find 3 Willamette Valley Pinot Noirs for under $15 each at Costco. And that's pretty rare. Yes, I'm sweating. She's looking at me sweating. I am sweating. Now, I'm a little, I will
I'm
admit.
surprised.
I will
Like I've never seen that before.
I know.
I
but
don't
she
know.
stared right at it. I noticed. She kind of gave me the up down. You know when people give you the up down? She
Was
kind
it
of gave me the
subtle?
up down.
Now I know.
No, but
now
I'm
I know. Like you shouldn't do that to people.
I'm also just sweating like a pig right now. I don't know what's going on. I think maybe
you
I have food
hot?
poisoning. I don't know. But anyway, let's keep going.
Sal got above 60 today and he's sweating.
It's such a hot day. We made it to 65.
Pacific Northwest heat.
Wow, we can barely
it
take
on.
it. Oh, geez, I need to take a shower. Okay, now, I may be a little suspicious about the quality of these wines because Oregon Willamette Valley Pinot Noirs are not usually $15. So but hey, we're sticking to the price. We wanted to get wines that were close to each other in price. And I will also say, I have noticed that these wines that we're tasting today, other than the Kirkland one, were more expensive at other places. So I think Costco is just selling them for a lower price.
Great though, right?
Yeah. And again, it's difficult to find good Willamette Valley Pinot Noirs for $25 or less. And I'm just going to give another plug. They're not sponsoring us. They're not compensating us, but our friends at Compton Family Wines make great Pinot Noir at around $25. I'm just giving them a little plug.
We love it. We love it.
Yeah, because they're super nice to us and they make great wine. Okay, so the first wine we're going to drink is the 2022 Kirkland Signature Willamette Valley Pinot Noir. There's not a lot to tell you about the wine beyond the winemaker. We know that this wine has a touch of French oak, because it says that on the bottle, but we don't know exactly what that means. If it spends a little bit of time on French oak, or if we don't know. We don't know. It's kind of too general for us to make any conclusions about. But it does have a pretty low alcohol content too, at 12.3%.
Oh boy.
So that's pretty low.
Okay.
But that's about it. So we're going to head over to the next one because we talked about Sarah, and that's really the most important thing is Sarah Cabot and the Kirkland wine. So we're going to talk about the 2022 Cloudline Willamette Valley Pinot Noir. And I will say 2022 it's pretty young. So all these wines are pretty young, but I also don't think given the price point, they're probably ones that you want to age for a ton of time anyway. They're probably meant to be drunk young. Now this wine has a higher alcohol content, about 13.5%. There was a tech sheet for this wine, which gave a little bit more information. Here's a few tidbits. 25% of the fruit comes from a single vineyard called the Rose Rock Vineyard. And that's important because that vineyard is owned by the Drouin family. So the Drouins are one of the top winemakers in Willamette Valley. And so a quarter of this wine, and this wine, the Cloudline wine, is owned by Domaine Drouin. And so that should be really good grapes and really good juice that are coming from that vineyard. In fact, the 2022 Rose Rock Pinot Noir, so again, remember, 25% of this wine comes from Rose Rock Vineyard grapes. It was ranked number 6 in Wine Spectator's top 100 wines in 2024. I should say that again, not the Cloudline, but the 2022 Rose Rock Pinot Noir. So if this wine is in any way similar to that, for the price point, it's going to be a killer deal. They don't mention a lot about the winemaking process, like fermentation or oaking. They did talk about the challenges of the vintage. So this is true across a lot of things that I've read, that the 2022 vintage in Willamette Valley was a little bit tricky. They do note that they bottle it with eco glass. So if that's important to you, that it's a 20% lighter glass, so it's more environmentally friendly.
Nice.
And the wine got an 89 rating from Jeb Dunnock, so that's a pretty good rating. Okay, the last wine is the 2022 Maison L'Envoy Straight Shooter Willamette Valley Pinot Noir, and this one also had a tech sheet, gave a little bit more information. They note that the winemaker's name is Felipe Ramirez. He's originally from Chile, and he spent time learning winemaking in Burgundy. So,
cool.
So he's got a little bit of background in making great Pinot Noirs. They also mention the Pinot Noir clones that they use and ones that I like. So they're using good clones of Burgundy Pinot Noir. Someday maybe we'll talk about that in a mini-sode. They also say the wine spent 12 months in French oak, of which 10% is new. So remember, French oak is more mellow and new oak is stronger. So they're spending 12 months on oak, which sounds like a long time, but 90% of it is pre-used oak. So it's probably not super duper oaky.
Right.
They also say they destemmed 80% of the grapes. They used indigenous yeast fermentation in open top tanks. And that shows a little bit of that minimalist or lower intervention approach. And wine enthusiasts gave this vintage of the wine, they've rated other vintages of the wine. They gave this vintage of the wine an 87. So that's not bad either. So I think we got 3 good wines. Great price point. Willamette Valley Pinot Noir, all from the same vintage. So I'm super curious to find out more about them. Okay, this week we usually say if you have a Pinot Noir, drink along with it, which of course we want to do. But if somebody would just reach out to me and say, hey, I'm really curious about your band and music, Joe, send me an email. I'll email you back and maybe we'll send you some stickers too.
Oh boy, you really, all of a sudden you were like, wow, nobody once has reached out about it.
Well, I feel like, we're 100 and almost 170 full episodes in and nobody said one word about it.
I really want to find out. Maybe they feel like it's kind of a familiar song.
Maybe they think they know it.
Yeah.
But did you know it's made by 20 Pound Gumball?
And do you know 20 Pound Gumball?
I bet you don't, but you can find them on Spotify.
Did you know that Joe is the drummer of 20 Pound Gumball and the writer and the backup singer, even though I shouldn't say he should be the
No, because that's your brother.
My brother is the lead singer, but Joe's a trained singer, if you didn't know.
That's right. Anyway, we're going to take a break and we're going to try our first wine.
Okay.
Okay, we are back and we are ready to try our first wine. It's the Kirkland Signature Willamette Valley Pinot Noir from the Willamette Valley of Oregon. The vintage is 2022. It was $11.99 at Costco. 12.3% alcohol, 100% Pinot Noir. The Reverse Wine Snob gave it a 7.8. The Costco Wine Blog gave it an 88. But let's start, Carmela, with the color. I love the color.
I know you love the color of Pinots.
I do. I just love that light kind of.
Very pretty.
It's translucent, ruby red. It is super.
Not too inky.
No, it's super. I just love the color.
Bright, almost a lot of brightness to it. Huh?
I think so. It kind of shimmers. I always like that it kind of shimmers a little bit in the glass. What are you smelling? I see you already smelling it.
I'm smelling it. I am getting definitely some cherry on it. Even some maybe a red plum, but. Definitely cherry. What are you getting?
I feel like when I swirl it, it's kind of earthy. I'm getting some forest floor. That's a nerdy wine term, but kind of dirt, a little bit of clay and dirt.
Okay.
But definitely on the smell, I'm getting rose. I'm getting a little bit of rose perfume a little bit. It's pretty perfume. I feel like even though it's low alcohol, I can kind of smell some alcohol. It's got a little bit of that rose potpourri kind of smell. I'm actually getting a little bit of licorice on it though, like a red licorice. Yeah. Like a cherry red licorice. I agree. And I totally agree with you. I am getting a little bit of smoke too. Okay. Do you find that? I don't know. Yeah. A lot of times I'll get kind of that fresh matchstick. Yeah. Like when you're swiping it. Yep. So a little bit of smoke. I think you're right. Okay. And then let's taste it and see what we think. It's super tart. This is young. It's a 2022, so it probably just came out. It's pretty tart. I think it's almost more tart raspberry or... Ooh, yes. Don't you think it's more tart raspberry than it is even cherry? Yes. Maybe? Which I like. But like a raspberry jam. Yes. You know what kind of tastes a little bit like to me? I'm like a little kid. A Pop-Tart. Oh. Kind of tastes a little bit like the filling of a strawberry pop or one of those red. It's very kind of like concentrated and sweet and tart. It's like that. The inside of a Pop-Tart, you're not really sure what flavor it is. You just know it's red and sweet. The same. I mean, it's all probably just grape, cherry. I mean, sugar. It's sugar flavored. Yeah, but I got Pop-Tart in my head. I would say it's young. I mean, it's pretty. It's sharp. It's got sharpness to it. I also feel like it's a little bit of cherry juice. Like it's not super complex. Like it's no. It's kind of just in some ways, it's very easy drinking. It is easy drinking. It doesn't have a lot of tannin on it. No, I agree. It's very kind of smooth. Almost like you could almost have this a little bit cooler. totally going to say that.
Like you could plop an ice cube in it.
No, but I think this would be really nice chilled. I agree with you. What food might you have with this Kirkland Signature Willamette Valley Pinot Noir?
Wow. I don't think you need anything like huge. I don't think you need a big steak. I could actually. You
could do it. I think you could do it.
You could, but I could even see just like a pork tenderloin or stuffed pork. I don't know why.
You're thinking a little bit lighter.
I am.
Red meat.
Yeah. I mean, I think it could be too overpowering.
If it's like a big steak or something. Yeah.
I don't know. What are you thinking?
Yeah. My feeling was it's super tart and acidic. And so it's a good food wine. I think it's better with food. And I do actually think it could stand up to some red fatty meat because it's so acidic. I think it would cut through and it's got a little bit of enough like flavor to do it. But I agree with you. I was thinking more like chicken. Pork, I think, is a great call. Yeah, you could do. I mean, it is pretty versatile. I think you could do a lot of different things with this. And I think this would be very good with Asian foods. Indian food be really good with Indian food, I think. Like a nice curry or something. It would be really nice. Yeah, I think it would be really good. Anything else? I think we named quite a few good things with it. What about you? No, I think so. I really like your call on serving it a little chilled. I think that's totally right. Yeah, I just think it could handle that. Like sometimes you just don't want that. You need a room temperature cellar maybe at the most. But this could be a little chilled. I agree. And it's light enough for like a summer daytime wine if you're just like going at it in the middle of the day. I agree. Actually, I think this would be a good lunch. A little lunch with a little sandwich. Yeah. A little sandwich. It would be delicious, actually. It would be really nice. Some roasted peppers and salami. Remember that little in San Francisco? We went to that. Oh, yeah. What was that? Sandwich shop? That was in Little Italy. I mean, it was down on North Beach, right? Ooh, a little Pinot Noir, that'd be great. It's so good. Okay, we're going to rate this wine. As a reminder on our rating scale, we rate on a scale of 1 to 10. We don't give half points, but together, if we give a point and they're in between each other, right, then we might get a half point by combining. Okay. Because that's math. Wait. Okay. And a 7 or above means that we'd buy it. 4 or below means we're going to pour it down the sink. And a 5 or 6 means it's good enough to drink. We're going to keep drinking. We're not going to pour it, but we're not going to buy it. Okay. So, verdict, Carmela, what rating are you going to give this? Because I'm not finding anything really wrong with it, but I don't know as far as Pinots go if I would, I just don't know. But I'm going to give it a 7. Okay. I'm really torn as well. I think I'm going to start with a 6. Okay. I'm just not totally convinced. It's a nice one. It's $11.99. That's what I'm saying. And for a Willamette Valley Pinot Noir for $11.99, it's kind of hard to beat. Almost like it's a party wine. If you're expecting a lot of people. Totally. It'd be a great price point. I think so too, and a nice wine. So look, a 6 doesn't mean it's bad. No. It just means I don't know if I'm going to buy it, and I may change my mind, but Carmela gave it a 7, so trust Carmela. No. I mean, I'm just saying I'd buy it. I would. Maybe if I'm having a big party, especially. I like it. Okay. I like that. Okay, we're going to take a break, and we're going to try our next wine. Okay, we're back and we're ready to try our next wine, which is the Cloudline Willamette Valley Pinot Noir. Now remember, this is from the Druin family. Willamette Valley is the region it's from in Oregon. It is also from the 2022 vintage. It was $14.99 at Costco, but I've actually seen this about $10 more online. So that was a really good price. 13.5% alcohol, 100% Pinot Noir. Jeb Dunnick gave it an 89 and Vivino gave it a 3.8. I will say on the color, it's darker than the Kirkland. Yeah. It's not quite, I mean, it's still translucent, but it's just not as shimmery and light. Yeah. It's a little duller or something. It looks more like a red wine. Like it doesn't look like a Pinot has a little bit of a different look. I agree. So, do you have the same thing? I've got bubbles around the rim of the wine. You actually have a perfect little circle. No, I don't. You don't. That was the first pour, though, so maybe, I don't know. Interesting. Okay, what are you smelling? This one is smokier to me. Maybe even like a campfire smoke. I'll tell you what I got right off the bat. A big, huge whiff of strawberry. Strawberry jam. Okay. Like strawberry jam is the overwhelming smell I'm getting. Huh, okay. Do you not get that? Well, I mean, my first sniff was campfire. Yeah, different. I mean, almost like the filling of a donut. Oh, that so very kind of sweetness. Very sweet, though. Yeah. Oh, my. Okay. That sounds delicious, actually. I know. Kind of makes me a little hungry. I'm getting a little bit, as I swirl it, I'm getting a little bit of smoke. I'm getting a little bit more cherry.
A little bit more, even a little bit of flower on this one too. A little bit of rose or kind of potpourri, even a little bit.
It's funny you said flour though, because I was started to think about like a donut, like almost like a sweet, like a brioche, like a sweet bread.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Which I don't usually get on a red wine, but I'm kind of getting it on this for some reason.
Not as much cherry though.
No, a little bit on the swirl, but it's more strawberry to me.
Or even raspberry.
Okay.
Yeah. So,
Should we try it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Ooh, tart again.
Wow. You know what? You're right. You kind of gave a face. It's kind of sweet. I think it's sweet. I think even more than tart, it's kind of like sweet. It's a little cloying. I would say even it's kind of sticking in the back of my throat a little bit with that sweetness. It's like I am getting that like donut filling. It's super sweet to me.
Yeah, but it's almost like
I don't
a
know
raspberry.
why I'm talking like this.
Wow, it's so sweet. No, but it's kind of like the raspberry preserves. Like it's like a little bit sweet, but a little bit tart.
Yeah, you know, when you bake and you make like a Linzer torte or you make a cake, that it's kind of got that filling, that like raspberry preserves filling.
Mm-hmm. And a preserve, for some reason, I feel like has a little more of a tart or bitter like note to it. You know?
Yeah.
It's weird that they're very jammy.
I would just say on the front of it, this is really, we nerdy wine talk. On the front of it, it's nice. It's kind of mellow and smooth. On the back, it gets a little bit like sweeter, more cloying, and then some tannin too. Some like
this would be hard for me to drink a lot of, I think. And I like to drink a lot. No, but I'm just saying. She
does.
No,
oh man, she's a lush.
No, I don't know though. I mean, I'm just feeling like these are pretty. They're almost like thick and rich, and they're richer than I would think for a Pinot.
They're not as elegant. Now they're not like punch you in the face, really, because they don't have that. They don't have as much body as like a big punch you in the face wine. Mm-hmm. But they're a little aggressive.
They are rough and aggressive.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. What food might you pair with this?
Well, this one
Cloudline.
think this one you would do something bigger. I mean, you could do like a cheeseburger. You could do something. I mean, like I know you were saying that with the other one. Like you could do, but I do like a stuffed flank would be like even a leaner cut of meat would be nice. Something stuffed, even like a pasta bake, which we've been talking about recently.
Mm-hmm. Pasta bake,
really good with this, with a little bit of meat and a little bit of cheese. What do you think?
I'm thinking like induja, like a spicy sausage.
Oh,
I think this needs spice. I think because it's so sweet to me, I think it needs something really spicy.
Spicy sausage, okay.
Spicy sausage. If you had a really spicy like Thai food, really you're getting they're like, how many stars do you want? They look at me and they're like, you want 1 star,
like,
2
buddy,
stars?
you're already sweating. And
yeah,
you
exactly.
haven't even had anything.
And then you tell them 5 star, and their eyes kind of light up, like, really? We're gonna mess this guy up.
Oof.
But if you had a little bit of this, you might be okay with it.
Okay.
So I think it's be really good. It's to be really good with spicy food.
Okay.
That's kind of the way I'm feeling about it. I mean, I think you could do red wine or red meat, and
yeah, no, I can get behind that.
But I think sweetness to me is
right.
What's
You
doing
kind
it.
of do need something or something salty. Like you could even do.
Good call.
I mean, I have to think about that, like some sort of cutlet too.
Or what about like a spicy Mexican food?
Oh,
like really
good
spicy.
Call. Yeah.
Maybe something like that would work. Like a spicy salsa.
Right, with what's the seasoning? Cajun, like a Cajun seasoning on
like a jerk chicken, maybe even.
Ooh, that would be
good.
nice. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay, well, let's rate this wine. What are you going to give this one?
I don't feel like it's that different than the other one in terms of like how I'm feeling about it. Mm-hmm. But I think I prefer the first one. So I'm going to give it a 6.
Yeah. I think I'm a 6 as well. I kind of feel like I'm teetering on a 5. I mean, like, it's fine. Like, I'll drink it. I will drink this wine. But I'm not loving it. And I also have to say, I'm just a big Pinot nerd. And so I think I have a really high bar on Pinot. So I'm going to stick with a 6 because I think it's drinkable. It's pleasant. I just don't think I would buy it. Okay. Well, let's take a break and we'll try our last wine.
Okay.
All right, we are back and we're ready to try our last wine. We made a mistake. We sniffed it early and I'm a little worried. Okay, this is the Maison L'Envoi Straight Shooter Willamette Valley Pinot Noir. It's also from the Willamette Valley of Oregon, 2022 vintage, $13.99. Again, I've seen it more expensive online. Got it at Costco, 13.5% alcohol, 100% Pinot Noir. Wine enthusiasts gave it an 87. Vivino gave it a 3.6, which is kind of low. So what about the color? Let's start with the color before we get to the smell.
Nice. Pretty.
Similar to the last one, not quite as translucent or bright as the first one. I think it's a little duller. I do have to say overall, I think it's the most dull of the three. Like the first two are a little bit more shimmery. This one is dull. I think it's dull color, dull ruby red.
Maybe because you smelled it first.
Maybe.
I don't know.
Okay. Well, let's
it's actually more, it's getting a little better, but that first sniff, guys.
Smell, you got dead animal and I got dog poop.
Ooh, it was just a real turnoff. But very different than the first two.
But it is a screw cap.
Well, what does that mean?
You got to give it some points.
Oh, I was saying, I thought you were saying
no, it gets points for screw cap.
Okay, true. It's a screw cap. No, I don't know.
It's got something really strong on it. Like
it's getting less offensive, though.
I feel like when you get your nose in there, it's got some like funky on it. It smells like there is something like rotten egg. It's sulfur. Maybe it's
it is a little sulfur-like.
It's sulfury. I think that's what it is.
I'm getting a little bit of dark cherry on it, I think, as we swirl it. But
dark cherry kind of like dipped in sulfur.
It's
rotten egg. It's got a little rotten egg.
It's a little weird. Yeah. No, I think you're right. I mean, we both right away were like, ooh. And we did not do that with the other two.
No, I mean, you should not smell a wine and go, ooh, it smells like dog poo.
Ew, gosh.
I don't think that's really something you should smell.
No.
I mean, call me crazy.
I mean, you are a little crazy. But no, I agree. I don't know. And when I first took a sniff, it was just like dead animal.
Yeah.
So, oof.
I think it is mellowing out a little bit, but I am having trouble getting past this sulfury, really gunpowdery kind of smell.
Yeah, I'm going to have a little trouble realizing that this is something you put in your body.
Yeah, I agree. I'm trying to get some fruit. Maybe I'm getting a little, like you said, like tinge of
almost
a cherry.
Almost like a rotten cherry, though. Like maybe something that's been hanging out in the compost for a little while.
Or like you left your car, you bought a box of cherry because it was summertime. So you bought a box of cherries and you accidentally left them in the back seat in the sun.
Ooh.
That's what it kind of smells like.
Yeah.
It's rotten. Like they're getting bad.
Darn it. Okay. So do we try this?
We're going to try it.
I'm a little worried.
I'm not worried. I feel it. Well, it doesn't taste as bad as it smells.
No, but again, it's pretty tart.
It's tart. It has hardly any fruit on it.
No.
Almost no fruit. I'm getting rotten egg.
Not a good aftertaste.
I'm getting rotten egg on the aftertaste. I'm sorry.
At the end, it's very lingering.
Yeah, I don't know if we got like a bogus bottle or something, but it's funny because it's a screw cap. So it can't be corked. I mean, you shouldn't be getting any oxygen taint in it. You shouldn't be getting so it's weird that it has this really strong taste with a screw cap. Like it's not like the cork failed or something. So, and it's not, it doesn't smell oxygenated. It smells sulfury.
It's very thin too. Like it's not, there's just not a lot on it.
Very little going on.
It's not actually as offensive in the, tasting it. The taste doesn't, but it's just very thin.
I can't get any fruit.
Yeah.
I really can't.
It's not a good wine.
No.
I'm sorry.
You know what no, it's not your fault. It tastes what it tastes like? An old fruit leather. Like if you got a really old fruit leather.
Wow. That was hanging out in the sun.
Exactly. And it just lost all of its flavor, but it still had that kind of almost fruit on it.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
Wow, what are you going to eat with this?
I mean, you could kind of, the smell is a little funky. It's gotten better. Maybe if you let it sit for a while, it would be less kind of weird. I mean, we didn't open these up and decant them. They are very young, but there is something really funky about that smell. So I don't know. I mean, I guess maybe if I had a grilled cheese sandwich or something.
Yeah, something bready. Whoops.
I don't know.
Something bready, something even like focaccia.
But it's not making me hungry. I kind of feel like if I was served this, I'd be like, oh, I'm not sure I really should drink any more of this.
Right. I don't know. That's how I don't think I would. I'm not sure I'd finish it.
I don't know either. It's not burning a hole in my stomach, but
what's the alcohol in this?
13.5.
Okay.
So what rating would you give this?
I'm probably, it's not like I said, it's not like it's so offensive, but there's just the smell was a real turnoff. So I think I'm going to give it I feel really bad about this, but I'm thinking like a 4.
Yeah, I'm at least a 4. I'm glad you did that because I would be like, this is not a wine. If we were at a party, you would not go for more of this wine. You might put it down.
I might.
Yeah, I think you would taste it and go, this isn't very good. So I'm at least a 4. I'm actually going to go down to a 3. Okay. And I think I'm going to increase my Kirkland to a, I really don't want to, well, I don't know. I'm going to increase it to a 7.
Okay.
It's not
knocking your socks off.
It's not, no. And I feel like there's wines that we've given a 7 that I liked more than it, but it's not bad.
Sarah is so impressive. You got to almost give it because of Sarah.
And I kind of don't want her to be mad at me. I kind of want her to like me a little bit.
Right. Like just she might want to hang out. She's in Seattle.
We don't have to be besties, but I would be like, hey, Sarah, and not have her go.
I don't want to actually play football against her.
No, for sure not.
Arm wrestle or anything.
No, I'll get my butt kicked. Right. But I do want her to be willing to talk to me. Yeah. At some point in her life or my life.
Maybe not even shake hands.
No. Oh, no. I definitely want a handshake.
She might be strong.
That's okay. That's okay. I can take it. Okay. Which of these wines are you finishing tonight?
Numero uno.
That's right. The Kirkland. Mm-hmm. Okay. So Kirkland 1. Woo! Let's talk about taste profiles expected from Willamette Valley Pinot Noir. In general, you're looking for red cherry, baking spice, clove, nutmeg, cinnamon, earth, forest flower, mushroom. I'm getting some mushroom on this one.
Yeah.
Tea leaf, cranberry, raspberry, pomegranate, sometimes black cherry, blueberry, sometimes leather, dried rose petals, dried fruit, and sweet tobacco.
Okay. This I didn't find that these wines. I can't even talk.
These are wines.
I don't feel like they had all that going on. Like sometimes the Pinots really do have a lot. I just didn't feel like those things weren't coming to mind.
These are not very expensive wines. So what are you going to expect?
True. I enjoyed that first one, but anyway, go ahead.
So for the Kirkland, Reverse Wine Snob says begins with a very pleasant aroma of red cherry, licorice, coffee, and oak, along with some hints of earth and forest floor, medium bodied, simple. It's on the simple side, red cherry and plum. On the flavor, a bit of brambly, more coffee and oak. Vino Pointer said it's mildly fragrant with black cherry plum and the typical Dr. Pepper earthiness. That's interesting.
Okay.
In the mouth, you get flavors of black and red berries with nice notes of allspice in the finish. You might consider decanting this one for an hour or so. So I kind of agree with that. So maybe I'm giving it a little bit of extra room to breathe. And the Costco Wine Blog said this wine is light ruby on the pour that you can see through. Agree. Nice red fruit, earthy nose, medium bodied, red fruit, strawberry, raspberry, gentle acidity, integrated tannins. Okay. The Cloudline, the winery says fresh, fruit forward and inviting, brings fresh personality and lovely raspberry, cherry, and strawberry aromatics. I said strawberry.
Yeah, you were really getting a lot of strawberry.
Yeah, the mix of roundness, depth, and a hint of fruit tartness plays well on the palate. Jeb Dunnick says spicey and juicy with ripe mixed berry fruit, crushed flowers, and forest floor. I think we got some of that.
Yeah. Okay.
Juicy and inviting, fine tannins, snappy lift of acidity on the finish.
Oh.
It's charming and a tremendous value to drink over the near term. Okay. And the Maison L'Envoy, the winery says a seductive and silky wine. Seductive.
Wow.
If you like dead animal. With red cherry and cranberry aromas. No. Cherry and spice flavors mingle on the palate, showing intensity, depth, and plenty of structure. I think maybe we got a bum bottle.
We might have.
Wine Enthusiast says, hits the mark with aromas of smoked cherries, barbecued pork.
Okay, I can get behind this a little bit more.
And damp modeling clay.
Okay, which I don't want to drink any of those things, really.
No, that's the thing. The second shot is a bit off, as the tannins already feel integrated and the wine's acidity is as light as its mouthfeel. Flavors of cherry, pipe tobacco, wet rocks, and raspberry fruit leather.
Wow.
I'm not kidding. That's what it says.
That's amazing. Did it say old?
No, I was getting old raspberry. So maybe all of these need a little bit of time, too, to kind of breathe a little bit. But overall, again, the Kirkland signature, we think, won the challenge.
Yes. You can't go wrong.
But I do feel like maybe we got a bum straight shooter. But okay. But anyway, Carmela, what do you think?
I just love a Costco challenge.
I know. They're
super fun. And
they're
if
fun.
Pinot won to boot, we're happy.
And it's the only way I can get you to drink 3 wines.
Now I'm like, Toast.
Little toasted. Okay, Carmela, it's time for us to go. But before we do, we want to thank you very much for listening to us. And if you haven't done so yet, now would be the perfecto time to follow or subscribe to our podcast, and also a great time to leave us a 5-star rating and review. How about that?
Woo.
And we'd love to hear from you. So again, reach out to us, DM us, tell us about some things you like, you don't like, a wine you want us to taste, all that fun stuff.
If you want, access to Joe's music,
yeah.
I mean, maybe he can download it for you.
Well, you go on Spotify, 20 Pound Gumball. Here we go. Also the trench coats. Okay, you can leave a message for us on our website, thewinepairpodcast.com. You can join our email newsletter there. You can shop for shit there. You can reach out to us at joe@thewinepairpodcast.com. You can DM us on Instagram and Blue Sky. But with that, we're going to sign off and thank you once again, and we'll see you next time. And as we like to say, life is short, so stop drinking shitty wine. Bye-bye.
Bye.